All right, 11:30. It's an exciting day. We got the trail riders getting closer and closer to the city of Houston, and our meteorologist Allison Gargaro was out with these folks earlier this morning. This is the Saltgrass Trail Ride. They come in from Pattison, Texas, which is out to the west of Brookshire. I think it's in Waller County is where that is. And so they're making their way in. They were in Brookshire this morning. They're approaching Katy actually right now. And the trail riders, tell you what, got it made this year. Yes, had a couple of cold mornings. It definitely was kind of blustery, on Saturday, and Sunday morning was cold. Monday morning was actually pretty chilly too, but now things are definitely changing. We're going to be running about 10 degrees above average here over the next 3 days at least. In fact, even into the extended forecast, it's going to stay that way. You'll notice it is getting breezy outside right now. It's going to be that way the rest of the day, a south wind. Temperatures should get up to about 80 today. Tomorrow looks pretty warm, up to around 82, maybe even a little warmer than that actually in some spots farther inland. If you're up there to the west of Katy and north of Tomball in that area, probably get even a little warmer than that. And then drying out on Friday with the arrival of a front. So we do have some cloud cover out there today, unlike the complete sunshine that we had earlier this morning like we had yesterday. The south breeze is blowing in a little bit more humidity from the Gulf of Mexico, both at the surface, where we are, but also if you go up several thousand feet into the atmosphere. And so that's resulting in a partly cloudy sky. But I mean, it's pretty awesome. 74 degrees here at 11:32 in the morning is not bad. Typically, our average high temperature for the day today, 69 degrees. So we're already way above that. And we still have a ways to go before all is said and done. South wind at 17. So that wind is definitely picking up out there and increasing the dew point value too. So the higher the dew point is, the muggier the air feels, and right now it's starting to get into that territory where it's starting to feel a lot sort of less dry than it has over the last few days. All right, here's a roundup of some current conditions across the area, and I do have the winds turned on here as well. So Galveston Island is currently at 71 with sunny skies. So we do have opportunity to maybe hit 72, 73 for a high down on Galveston Island, but probably not going to get that much warmer than you are right now. You have a south wind at 17. Also in Brookshire, a southwest wind at 14 with some mostly cloudy skies, at least in that particular area. And Angleton right now 73 degrees as well with a partly cloudy sky and a south wind at 16. In fact, those winds are going to be gusting above 20 miles per hour for much of the day. What happens here is that right along the coastline, you'll have a little bit of a cooling effect from the Gulf of Mexico. Because remember, we've had some recent lows in the 30s and 40s, and so the water out here is in the 50s in a lot of spots. And so when you see the winds returning back out of the south, there's a cooling effect for Freeport, 69 right now, Matagorda at 68. Then you head inland and it does get warmer. So right now about 75 in LaPorte, Intercontinental Airport's at 74 along with Cleveland. And heading out to the southwest right now, Sugar Land is 73. Wharton is not 83. There's something going on with that sensor. That is not correct at all. So let's talk about weather where you live. So highs today, if you're watching us right now from Montgomery County, it is going to be a pretty pleasant afternoon. You're about 75 right now. Splendora, Porter, and the Woodlands, along with Magnolia, probably up to around 82 for a maximum temperature today. So you'll spend most of the afternoon in the upper 70s. Cut and Shoot, New Waverly, roughly the same. Headed down farther to the southwest, taking a look at Fort Bend County. Around Fresno, 81 degrees. Siena getting up to around 81. Sugar Land back over to Stafford, about 82 degrees. And Needville, about 80. Overall, just a pretty nice, pleasant day other than the wind. In Harris County, it's going to be more of the same. Houston up to roughly 80 degrees. Some spots could get a little bit warmer. It's interesting because there are differences that you'll see in high temperatures even across a county like Harris County, for example. You go down here to the Clear Lake NASA area or over to around LaPorte, and there's just a little bit of a cooling effect coming in from Galveston Bay. And so high temperature there, maybe 78, maybe 79. But when you go farther inland, you actually have this, what you call an urban heat island effect. So there's more warmth in the city. I mean, think about all the cars, trucks, and buses, and everything else that generates heat, air conditioners and stuff, across Houston, and that actually gets blown to the north. And so sometimes you'll end up with somewhat hotter temperatures or a little bit warmer weather off on the north and northwest side of Harris County. So it doesn't always happen, but a lot of times it does happen that way. Low temperatures tonight, we're looking for very moderate temperatures here. This morning we did get down to the 50s. Most likely tomorrow morning we're going to be in the 60s with this south breeze. City of South Houston about 62, 61 for Clear Lake and LaPorte, about 62 in Channelview. Downtown Houston will probably stay in the mid 60s, low to mid 60s overnight. Cypress and Tomball around 61, and then tomorrow for high temperatures we're looking for even warmer weather up to around 82, maybe 83 in some spots. It'll be depending a little bit on cloud cover and winds in your particular part of town, but I think especially to the north and west of Houston, there's a really good chance that we end up seeing some low to middle 80s briefly for tomorrow, and here's the reason. So heading into this afternoon, as I mentioned, we have this south breeze. Now there is going to be a front approaching us from the west. Generally you warm up ahead of a cold front because you'll get these winds coming in from the southwest. So this is tonight with cloud cover forming again, maybe some fog forming once again, and then tomorrow sunshine returns briefly. With the front still out to our west by 5 p.m. And so very likely we're going to have the opportunity to warm up. It's 81 to 83, maybe 84. And then here comes the front. Now, it's not going to bring us really cold air, but what it's going to do is for Go Texan Day, Friday, it'll give us this north wind. The humidity is going to drop a lot. And then this weekend, the temperatures will get a little bit chillier in the morning. So, for example, tomorrow morning, lows in the 60s. By Saturday morning, probably down in the 40s and low 50s. So not extremely harsh, but definitely on the cool side. California is still getting slammed by heavy rain. We had flash flooding that was taking place yesterday in Los Angeles. San Francisco over the last week, I think has had about 8 inches of rain. Parts of Southern California have had that same territory, about 6 to 8 inches of rain. So it has been a very severe winter for them, which is very typical of an El Nino winter across that part of the country. And also for us, we've had a bit of a El Nino style winter with kind of some cloudy, dreary days and more frequent showers coming down. For right now, though, what you're seeing setting up here on the map, the white that you see are areas of cloud cover. So these are cumulus clouds, and they're setting up in little lines here. We actually call those cloud streets. And they are going to be noticeable out there today. So you'll notice that the cumulus will be on the increase, but they're not going to be producing any rain for us. And then the bigger picture, we did have some fog around earlier this morning. This is a loop of the last 2 hours. Some fog out in the hill country has since dissipated and really no problems. Here's a closer view of what's been happening out there. Currently 60 in LA. They're finally seeing that rain move out, but there was really some pretty serious flooding inland and then over here as well. What about our forecast? Well, nothing much happening other than that front that I mentioned coming in for early Friday, going to bring us a little bit of a weekend cool down in the mornings. But overall, it just looks like a pretty tranquil forecast. So today, kind of windy at times, spring-like temperatures, no rain. It'll feel pretty good. Some light mist is possible tomorrow morning. Can't rule out an isolated drizzle, but not all that much going on. And then we'll wait for our front. So here comes the southwest winds. Those winds will switch back around on Friday, but everything looks terrific. So about 80 today, probably 81, 82 tomorrow. It is Go Texan Day. All the trail riders come in on Friday morning. It'll be around 55, 76 and breezy for Friday. And then here's the weekend outlook. I got to tell you, you can't ask for much nicer than that. You just can't. 52 on Saturday morning, about 54 on Sunday morning. The afternoon high temperatures are going to be just ideal. Remember too that the Rodeo Carnival opens as well. So maybe the rodeo concerts and all that stuff are not ongoing yet, but the concerts will happen, next week, but the carnival will be starting and the weather should be ideal for that. I put the bull there because the animals get moved in to the NRG Park on Monday. So that's the big animal move-in day with all the steer and all that's, show animals. And the weather is going to be ideal with temperatures in the 60s there in the morning and highs near 80 degrees. Also, by the way, looks breezy next week as well. All right, I hope you'll join us for Fox 26 News at noon. That's coming up here in just about 20 minutes. You can continue watching it right here on this digital platform. So I hope to see you then.
Thanks, Scott. The efforts of the SEPTA's workforce at this facility are essential to keeping